Frack on, everyone. Welcome to the Frack The Canon. I am joined by the three raddest, baddest mother frackers around. Sara Bennett, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Tyler, how are you doing, good sir?
Good. Sorry about all the mouse clicks. I'm here. Hi.
You're
Happy
totally
New Year.
fine. All right, so today we're talking about the Book of Boba Fett. Let us start the Fett talk. Sara, I'll start with you because I haven't seen you in forever.
It's been a while. I've just been behind on all my shows. So I haven't been you'll be like, let's do this. And I'm like, I haven't seen it yet. But I did catch up on Book of Boba Fett, which so full disclosure,
Okay.
I don't like Boba Fett. Like, I know there's this huge thing, like people love him, and I'm like, he's okay. Like, he's like a very minor character from the original series. I hate the special editions where it shows him kind of blasting away from, the Sarlacc pit, because that was stupid. But I did like that they kind of fixed my issue with the special edition of the movies by explaining why he could survive the Sarlacc pit, and it's because of his Beskar armor. But I went into this being like, I really want to like this because it's Star Wars, and then not really liking it that much.
I have some issues too, but we'll talk about those issues. Tyler, what about you? What did you think about it?
Yeah. I wasn't like super stoked on the whole thing. But there were parts that I freaking love. And I honestly feel like it's two shows. Like half of it is Boba Fett and half of it is other stuff. And that's like two things I have to assess. So that's how I feel.
Because I remember I was like watching, I'm like, why is this? I remember watching the first couple episodes. I'm like, okay, it's kind of cool. They're gonna go with the little like the Godfather vibe, kind of like the mafia, like Goodfellas kind of thing. And then it goes into, like you said, like these two other episodes were like, so what happened to Boba Fett?
Yeah, he wasn't even in a couple episodes.
Exactly, like two full episodes without the main titular character. I'm like, so all right, what are the good things? We'll talk about the good things, and then we'll talk about the bad things, because I do have a list.
I like the Return of the Hutts. Like they were in there for just a short amount of time, but like they're so gross and like creepy. I liked it. Like, it was just fun, like seeing them. And the Rancor. I really like the Rancor coming along and being there. It was like those were parts from the original that I like that they brought forward into the thing. And I like in the Naboo ship, like retooling a Naboo ship to be his ship. That was fun too.
That was cool. I thought, wasn't that somewhere that it was supposed to be Anakin's race ship or pod race? Was that true, or was that kind of just?
Well, he flew one of those, but I don't know how likely it would be that was the exact one that he flew from the prequels.
Okay, I thought it was cool. Tyler, what about you?
Yeah, stuff I really like. I like not the dream sequence, like back and forth, but I like the concept of him being saved by the Tusken Raiders. The back and forth stuff was exhausting, but aside from execution, it's a great concept. And I did like the Grogu training sequences.
Feel the force all around you. Concentrate. Use the force. Very good.
I just wish that they didn't wrap that quicker. They didn't wrap it so quick. And I did not like the last episode. I felt like once again, Disney Plus is cramming 3 episodes into one.
I want to say
But,
because I would say the creators
yeah.
or whoever, but
Yeah.
because I'm like, this is way too long. Yep, and I have so many issues. A lot of my issues are with that episode. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's it. That's it. There's a lot of stuff that's great in concept, but not great in execution.
Like I like the idea of him surviving with the tuck, that was cool. But I'm like, where are we going with this? Like, what is did they ever really pay it off? They didn't, right? Like, what was the point of him showing that backstory?
They could have fixed the whole thing had they had Cad Bane be introduced as the guy who's going to wipe out all the Tusken Raiders, and then make Cad Bane be this really big badass. And they tried that with Timmy Oliphant's character,
right.
And it was cool. But then there's a lack of payoff later again because of, I don't know, why does the show have to end so quick in that last episode?
So that last episode, we'll just go into right now. Okay, my favorite things, the Black Wookiee was pretty cool. I'm like, there's a Black Wookiee. That's awesome. Danny Trejo as the Rancor handler was awesome. I love that. The Mandalorian coming back in and wielding I like that he cut himself using his. I'm like, oh my god, how many times that happened where you're practicing something, you hurt yourself? Like, oh my god, I thought that was pretty cool. What else? Yeah, but I mean, I just remember the two big things were them cutting to other characters. I'm like, this is the Book of Boba Fett, not the Book of Mandalorian or Grogu. Like, why are we watching these episodes? I get it to bring them there, to not have. I'm guessing to not show Deus Ex Machina. But I'm like, okay, I guess. And then I remember the final battle on Mos Espa. I've never understood. I was telling CJ this. I've never understood the phrase, I hate white people doing stupid things, until I saw it in this episode, the last episode. I'm like, do you see it's not working? Like Mandalorian's throwing his flamethrower, they're firing at the things, and I'm like, and they keep firing, and they see it not work. I'm like, why are you still doing that? That bugged me to do, why, guys?
It happens all the time. It drives me nuts too. I'm like, this isn't working. People would not be this stupid in real life. This is such a movie thing.
What else, Tyler? What about you?
About the last episode?
Yeah, or your other grievances with the show?
Oh no, well, specifically the last episode, as I mentioned, it's just too much crammed into one. I like how they tried to do the Rancor payoff. It would have been a cool thing just to see a Rancor fight like a giant mech thing with a force field. That was cool, but now we have 1,000 other things to do. And yeah, I think what honestly ruins it is baby Grogu showing up at the beginning of the episode. Grogu showing up at the beginning of the episode. If he showed up at the end of the episode and then had the whole thing with the Rancor, instead of him being like a cartoon runaway Tom and Jerry sequence from the Rancor, it could have been better because okay, here's how I felt. The very beginning of the episode was my biggest jump out of my seat screaming, yeah, because when the X-Wing shows up at the beginning of that episode, I thought it was Luke, and I was like, oh my god, what? But no, they decided to have Grogu be chased around and Jerry in a Tom and Jerry episode, the whole thing.
I forgot that was the. I'm watching it too, and I forgot about that thing right now.
I just want to say, how bad of a guardian is Luke to take what is basically a 3 or 4-year-old and put them on a ship and just send them to another planet and be like, oh, the guy will find you. That's good. It's worse than what they do with kids on airlines now, where they're a flight attendant has to escort them. I don't really see R2D2 making sure they left Grogu with the crazy hangar air lady, the mechanic lady. I'm like,
it's because of the Force. He has the Force. The Force will guide you. That's why.
Yeah, like father, like son, I guess.
I guess, but Grogu just eats things and Like he was literally like being kidnapped by the Empire to that hasn't stopped. Like they
Right.
still want him.
Yeah, that's right. 'Cause the Empire is still around, right? No, this is post Jedi, right? So yes, it's
But like that was the premise of the Mandalorian is the Empire wanted, or the remains
the remains
of the
yeah.
Empire wanted Grogu to resuscitate Palpatine.
Mhm.
So it's
neat.
that they haven't disappeared. Like let's just send this character off in a plane who is incapable of taking care of himself. But
I thought it was fine. I've seen it. Like, I guess it makes sense. I mean, I guess no, it doesn't make sense. But I'm like, in that moment, I'm like, whatever. It's Star Wars. Like, it didn't make sense to me till you guys put it out. I'm like, oh yeah, huh? That is super, super irresponsible of everyone involved.
yeah. But like the thing, like one of the main things that really bugs me about this that I brought up when we talked about the Mandalorian is that Boba Fett is way too old because they have placed this series in time. So it's really cool that they got the actor who played Jango Fett to come and play his like clone self. But like Luke's in his like mid-20s, and Luke was born when Boba Fett was what, like 10 or 11.
Yeah.
And so Boba Fett needs to be in his like mid-30s. I think the actor's in like his 60s. So every time I see him on screen, I'm like, you didn't age well. Like
Yeah, I give it the same excuse I gave him on the Mandalorian. It's the Sarlacc pit, and he's still using the tank or whatever. And he looks younger now than he did on the first episode you show up in Mandalorian. So
That's true. You
he'll
really
get the
did,
pass
yeah.
for me. So they're still rectifying that, I think.
yeah, I hate it. I'm like, this isn't right. Like you place this in time and now you have to pay for it. Like
It's you guys' fault. Yeah. Overall, I just thought I was really let down by the Book of Boba Fett. Again, you guys know I'm not a Star Wars guy. I'm more of a Star Trek guy. But I'm like, I'll still watch it. I'm like, all right, I'll still enjoy it. I'll still watch it. But I'm like, this was not. I just like, so why did he want to become daimyo? What was the point of that too? Like, there's so many questions that cut up. Like, well, so what was the point of him becoming a daimyo to be the drug lord? Like why?
It wasn't drug lord. Some of that title has control over that region, and the Hutts were over that region and like hundreds of other regions.
Mhm.
So supposedly it's now like being the mob boss, and you have underlings who report to you, and they kind of said it like, here's your safe space or whatever, at that bar,
Mhm.
where the cantina,
The one that got blown up, the one with
yeah, and this is what's wrong with the show. It's so disjointed because like nobody cares it blows up, because you spend all the time with the Tusken Raiders and doing these weird flashbacks instead of meeting the people in the cantina and learning about those people. So when they blow up, it's like, oh, okay, all right, move on, instead of like, oh no, these are people we care and love about. And
it was really
missed
like
opportunity.
Like two shows in one. Like I know you like the Luke training Baby Yoda, and like as a fan, I was like, okay, this is kind of fun, but it like really had no place in this show at all. It was just like, I remember what I was watching and I was like, why are we still here? Like this is something that a fan makes because they want to like relive Empire Strikes Back with Luke and Yoda, and not really placed in this show. But like that just added to the disjointedness of it for me. Like
same with the Mandalorian. As much as I'm like, cool episode, what does this have to do with the Book of Boba Fett?
Yeah,
like
right.
It was like, all right, what is like this? Like, I'm assuming it's setting up for season 3 for the Mandalorian. I'm guessing, okay, kind of cool. But what about, like, again, is there a baby Grogu show coming that we don't know about yet, or something? Because I'm like, why are we spending so much time on this? We spent an entire episode here. Like, why are we here?
Right.
Like,
well, and not to mention they basically undid everything they worked for in season 2 of The Mandalorian. Like
seriously,
like he spent the whole season being like, oh, I have to get like, I can't take care of this child because I'm a bounty hunter. I need to get him someplace safe. And then they just are like, oh, forget that. He has his armor now. We're good. Like,
Yeah. I think the way they would fix that is, I keep saying they cram so much in one episode. One thing that is so terrible about losing episode 5 and episode 6 to Luke and Mando is now you have to do this with the rest of the episodes. If you just had like 10 episodes, then it's like okay to have like a spin-off episode, or what's it called when you go somewhere completely different. I forget my television terms, but yeah, if
spin-off.
Well, yeah,
no. It's
yeah,
like a
but-
flashback, but not.
yeah, whatever, non-plot relevant episode to the main
Filler?
character. Filler. Thank you. See, they're television fans unite.
Why is that playing to me?
Yeah, so it's okay to have filler if you have like a longer show, but if there's like if it's a short show, then you can't do that.
Agreed. No, I wanted to like it, didn't like it.
Did anyone
Okay.
else absolutely hate the stupid 1950s motorbike
Yes!
things?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I didn't.
cannot-
I'm like, oh, Power Rangers.
I hated them so much. I like really tried to forget about them, and I was okay with not remembering them. But now that I remember them, now I hate the show even more. Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome.
All right, why do you guys hate them? I had no issue with them. Why do you guys hate them so much?
They look stupid. Also, why would you like pimp out like these kids? Like they're like, I don't have jobs. I have to like rob things, and then they're like pimping out their speed. Like so, like they're like from the 1950s. It's not even like I don't know. It just
I'm
seems
assuming
very out of place.
I'm assuming it's a throwback to his first movie, American Graffiti.
Oh, it is probably American
I'm
Graffiti.
assuming
Yeah,
it's-
yeah.
But I didn't mind them.
Yeah. I hated them because their job is to be inconspicuous and like spy on things, but they're in really bright outfits and like really hard to like not look at because they have like cyberpunk appendages all over their bodies. And
Power Rangers.
But this
Which
isn't
Power
the Power Rangers.
I mean, but in their defense too, like, but they could also be like, I know they're not blending in like Batman or ninjas. Maybe they're more like blending in, be like, look at us, and try to get people to talk like that. Get information that way. I don't know if that makes any sense.
misdirection.
Yeah, misdirection. Thank you.
Mhm.
I just thought they looked stupid, but that's my opinion.
I'm like, go Power Ranger. Teenagers with attitude.
The one person I did really like in this show was like, I don't even remember her character name in the show, but Agent May from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
You know
Oh,
when?
yeah.
Yeah.
What's her character name? Whatever. She's good in everything. Like I don't know.
Yeah, but like I was like, yeah, she's cool. Like they should just make it about her. Like
Yeah, especially the ending where she
Yeah.
took out the whole thing. Yeah, she actually she's in Bad Batch a lot, and she actually has a lot of like fights with Cad Bane in it, and it's like another missed opportunity. Something I want to mention about that is like Cad Bane is freaking cool in the all the shows he's been in previously, and they did a good job in when he first shows up, and that is worth the price of admission for me when he has the high noon moment with Timothy Oliphant. But Cad Bane has had more. Well, a little history. Cad Bane was like Jango Fett's like student of like for bounty hunting, and then when Boba grew up, Cad Bane had some stuff with Boba Fett, but he had more interactions with Mulan's
Ming-Na
animated
Wen, whatever.
Ming-Na. Yeah, her
Eric
character's
something?
name. Oh my gosh.
Only if there was a machine that told us such things.
Agent May.
Well, yes, Agent May, Mulan, whatever else she was. Oh, she was Chun-Li in the 93 Street Fighter movie.
Oh, that's right. That exists. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking it up, so her name is Fennec Shand.
There you
Fennec
go.
Shand. So she had more fights with Boba Fett, with Cad Bane than Boba Fett did. So when he shows up and then Boba Fett's talking to him and Fennec doesn't say anything to him, it's like, whoa, are you sure Dave Filoni like made this? Because he made that. Why isn't there this continuity? And there's another thing lacking there. And the ending of Cad Bane, which isn't a real ending because the light's still blinking, was so what's it called when you don't get the result you want? Disappointing. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I just like, I'm like, okay. Again, I'm like, so I didn't care for anyone's, like, what were this, again, you know me, guys, I'm like, what were the stakes? What would that take for this? Why should I care? That was never given to me in the show. I'm like, why do I care about this? And then to your point too, Tyler, like, I know there's all these, I like it, what they kind of do in Marvel, like, these are pretty cool connections. If you get the reference, you get the reference. If you don't, you don't. It should be able to stand on its own, right? So I'm like, I didn't know about that bad blood between them. I'm like, can you guys, like, you're hinting at it, but I'm like, why is there bad blood or whatever? You know, kind of just like, I don't know if that makes any sense. But
Makes total sense. I mean, they screwed themselves too. Like, if I just want to watch The Mandalorian and never got around to Book of Boba Fett and start watching Mandalorian season 3, I'd be so confused. And like, I feel like if you put these references in, they need to be small or explained. And they aren't really doing that. Like, I knew who Cad Bane was, but I've never seen Clone Wars. So I was like, there's that character I have in Lego that, you know, I see in my Lego sets, but I'm not really getting much from this experience.
I saw him too, again, because of all the I follow watch a lot of nerd stuff, but I'm like, why do I care?
Yeah, Cad Bane's probably the coolest character in Clone Wars too. He fights like Obi-Wan and another Jedi. He took on Ashoka and Anakin at the same time. Like, he's like way weaker than he should be in Boba Fett. Like, that's why it's so like disappointing, because he should easily be able to take on like Boba Fett, the guy who couldn't take on Luke by himself. Just saying.
Yeah. This is true. Any final comments, any final thoughts? I have none.
Final comment for me. Yeah, I wish it was longer, so we didn't get that mess of a last episode. And I'd rather they have had a longer and less like Tarantino'd first season and maybe a season 2 than all this filler in it that pulled from the actual story.
Are we getting a season 2?
No, I just rather there be 2 seasons of like less convoluted storyline.
Got it. Okay.
And from me, like, so I met Chewbacca at Disneyland. And
real Chewbacca or
I mean, it said meet Chewbacca, and I waited in line. And
okay.
So like the thing that I got out of this was like, I want them, instead of doing this, is to just make a Wookiee series, like something with, you know, because like they can't, obviously they aren't all eliminated, like so like if they could spend that instead of trying to like I feel like they need to bring like themes and ideas from the like, you know, the series, the main storyline series, but not necessarily the characters themselves that we know. And I just like, that's why I like the Mandalorian at first, is like, these aren't really like characters we know, they're standalone. And all I got out of this was like, I want more of this Black Wookiee.
I have nothing else. So with that, we shall say thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe. We'll see you same fracking time, same fracking channel. Frack off. Ewok Show. Bye.